All right, welcome back everybody. Thanks for watching these videos. Here we are again looking at VCE Music Melodic Conventions Part 5. In this clip, we're just having a quick look at sequences and how they work in melodies. Again, I'm building on the melody that I've created from previous clips. So here we have my simple little melody that I built from some time ago, and we're going to create what's called a sequence. All right, I'm going to delete the contents of this bar. Delete. I'm going to copy the contents of this bar and paste it here. Oh, so I must have done something wrong there. Oops. So I need two staves of copy. Maybe I need to highlight. See, each music software program I work with has slightly different features in it, and I forget which one's got which. All right, so basically what I've done is I've repeated the contents of this bar in this bar. But that looks very repetitive. I've got da 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 da. Okay, now that's too repetitive. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is take this bar and I'm going to put it up a step. So let me go in here. It's something really simple. I could have just used my up arrow, but I've chosen to use a drop-down feature there to show students where they can access transposing features. So here we go. Now, here we have a little simple motive. A motive is a smaller section of a melody. This is my melody, right? The entire upper part in the treble clef here, that is what we call the melody. The bass part is really just a harmonic support structure. So this is your melody. All I've done here is I've taken this tiny motive, which is a smaller section of a larger melody, okay, and I've transposed it up a step. So you'll get the consistency and repetition with the same rhythmic features, because it's the same, it's got all the same rhythmic features as this bar has, or this motive has, but it's up a step, so it's got a little bit more interest to it. Now, I'll just play through that. Good, okay. Now, I could have changed this. Da 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 da. Let's try that. We're going to change this bar around. Delete. Da da da. What I shall do is I'll see if it remembers that. I'm going to go down a step. So I pressed my down arrow that time, and I'll make this more solid here. Da 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 da. Da 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 dum. All right, now I'm starting to get into this thing that I'm always on at my students about, which is singing everything. I've got in my VC music class 2020, I've got lots of rock band musos, and they're all great musicians, but they're very shy about singing. And singing is something you must be doing. You're just not going to get your as strong a grasp on intervals and oral skills if you don't sing enough. You have to sing more. You've got to get out of that very, very tight limiting view that you're shy, or that I'm going to assess you on your singing. You're not being assessed on your singing. You have to use your voice and get the voice to move around. It's a kinesthetic thing. You need to be able to understand music through singing as much as you do through playing. I just can't stress that enough. So you can hear me singing away and humming to myself like a crazy music teacher here. But the idea behind that is to feel the shape of what I'm writing here. So for the fact that my hardware doesn't record the Noteflight audio very well here, so I'll sing it. Da 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 dum da da dum. That's a bit high first thing in the morning. Da 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 dum bum 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 bum. All right, so I've sung through that melody. That's not too bad. I don't really like this part of the melody here. I would prefer that this portion of the melody comes back to a better resolution. So I'm going to change the end part here. I shall delete, whoops, I tried to select 4 bars there, but I bombed. All right, so let's go. I'm going to change the resolution here. So da 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 da. Da da. Okay, for a minute. I shall put a semi-breve in there. All right, now again, the whole melody is very, very chordal, right? You've got chord 1 here. You've got chord 1 again in the final bar. You've got a chord 5. Is it a chord 5? Is it a dominant or is it dominant 7th? If you've got a strong presence of that 7th note there, which is the F in the key C major, the dominant chord, as you know, is made up of G, B, D, F. So if you've got the presence of that F there, then yes, it is a dominant 7th chord there. All right. Now, what have we got in this bar? Because, of course, the thing that we're working with here today and we're focusing on is the idea of a sequence. So have a look at the bass line. We go up 1 step. For those of you that have been working out of your theory books and you're travelling well with your theory and on to everything, this is a chord 2. So in the key of C major, this is chord 2. So this is chord 1. This is chord 2, which is traditionally a minor chord, right? And so when you go from chord 1 to a chord 2, it's actually really nice sort of oral change. It's quite pleasing to the ear because you're going from a major chord to a minor chord within the overall context of the harmonic structure, which is major. All right, so don't want to get too confusing there for everybody, but you've got chord 1 in this bar, you've got a chord 2 in that bar, a chord 5 in 5-7 in this bar, really. The 5-7 is outlined because of the presence of the F there, and then you're back to chord 1 in this bar. Right? So again, let's recap on some of these melodic conventions. You've got a melody here that's basically built on chords, right? We've added in and we've been learning a little bit about passing notes. There's your passing note there, passing note, passing note, passing note. We don't have any great examples of auxiliary notes in this task here. However, we've got chordal outlines, we've got passing notes, and we've now added in sequences, right? If we want to just pop in and do our Google/Wikipedia thing again, in music, a sequence is the restatement of a motive or longer melodic or harmonic passage at a higher or lower pitch in the same voice. It is one of the most common and simple methods of elaborating a melody in 18th and 19th century classical music. Yes, I hear sequences used a lot in pop music too. So we're not really out of and away from still using sequences. So here's an example of a sequence here. There are lots of sequences around that you can have a look at. And see, this little melodic phrase here is quite similar to what I was doing. Right, bum 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 ba ba 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 bum, and so on. Yep. Right, here's another one. Hosanna in excelsis. I'm about 5 or 6 keys way too low for that. I'm just not going to sing a high F in the Passaggio range at this time of morning. So that's a very famous Christmas carol there. Remember that one, Gloria? Angels on High and all those types of songs have many, those Christmas carols have many, many sequences in there. Oh, here it is. It's appeared here. Gloria in excelsis Deo. This is all just basically a series of sequences, and it's lovely. The chords that you can put under it are just beautiful to work with, all right? So this should get you thinking a little bit about not just the idea of a sequence, but also the lovely chords that you can start to experiment with underneath the melody that's employed at the sequence. So that's just another little melodic convention that it's very important to be familiar with, all right, in terms of melodic transcription. Sometimes you will hear a sequence played, and that is what you are being asked to transcribe. All right, so I hope that introduces you adequately to sequences for today. Thank you.